I gave us, we will start from the cover page, Global Wealth Science Professionalism. Today, we are inducting everybody to become a global wealth professional, so that before the end of our session in this summit, all of us must have become professionals in wealth creation and sustainability. Now, we dedicate this topic for this year 2025 conference that is organized by Kingdom Wealth Creation Summit 2025, which is organized and powered by the church. We appreciate this. I don't want to take much of the time in the theoretical aspect of it, but it's very key for us to have it as a background. Number one, by our concept of our research, we have looked at Global Wealth Science Professionalism, GWSP, extract definition as an act of wealth creation and sustainability. Now, wealth creation, I want to make it as a clause. After wealth creation, the second subject that is key and fundamental is what? Sustaining the what? The wealth. And I can tell you one good thing that we have the capacity to do in Africa. We have the capacity of wealth creation, but we don't have much capacity in sustaining the what? The wealth. So we have to bridge the gap, which is key and fundamental. Now, wealth creation and sustainability, WCS, I developed this formula. As is equal to sum, open bracket, SCV/T. I'm sorry for going scientific, but we have to understand that wealth creation is not a mere miracle. It is a measured technique that is realistic when you follow the right steps and paths. And also let me announce to us, probably we must have forgotten, by default, there is no human being that is created to be poor. So when you are poor, you are abnormal. I just want us to understand this. A poor man is an abnormal human, because he who that created you has never, will never, and will not be what? Poor. When God said, I created a man in his what? Image and likeness. So a poor man or unproductive person does not resemble God, because God is not poor. But if you think poverty is a criterion to make heaven, rethink again. The Bible says, I will open the doors and the gate of heaven and do what? Pour what? Blessing upon you that you cannot even what? Contain. Is heaven poor? Is God poor? Whoever that is poor is an abnormal humanity. Are we there? I want us to give you a critical analysis. Now, the formula is simple. It's SCV. Let me tell you, by the time you solve these three words, you are already what? Wealthy. Simple. But number one, what is S? Number one, we say S is what? Self-discovery. Let me tell you, the truth is that the differences between humans and animals, animals doesn't discover themselves, but humans need to discover what? Themselves. There was no definition in the scripture concerning the identity of an animal, but there was a definition in the scripture concerning the identity of who? Man. Did God create animal in his image and likeness? He ate them as a what? Food. That you shall what? Eat. But you are created in the image and the likeness of the divine. Are we understanding this concept? So self-discovery is the first step you need to take in life. Not going to school, not doing this, not building capacity, not whatever. The first step for you, number one, to do in life is self-discovery. If you do not discover yourself, People will discover you to their own self and to their advantage. Are we there? There was a case study of a ship in the middle of the sea. What happened to it? It can be toasted to each what? To every direction. When you are somebody that could not, or you have not discovered yourself, you are just like a ship in the midst of the sea, that the waves of the sea can take you to any direction. So many of us are like that. Now, self-discovery is the first responsibility that you need to conduct for your life. Immediately they gave birth to what? To you. And when you gain your what? Consciousness. Now, what is this self-discovery? Let's go into more details. Self-discovery is somebody who have identified himself. Number one, you know who you are. First, let me tell you who you are. You are an image of God. So that you will be able to know how you can administer your what? Self, being an image of who? God. Number one. And number two, after you know that you are an image of God, know that you are a unique being that was created specially into this world to transform the world. To transform the world. What does it mean to transform the world? You cannot transform the world without having vision. So, when you discover yourself, it means you have done what? You have known your what? You have a what? Vision. I don't know if there's anybody that has his own vision here. Our vision clear? We have two types of vision. We have physical vision with our ordinary eyes, as I can see all of you. And also you have an internal vision of what? Purpose. Anybody that have not discovered himself have not also discovered his what? Vision. No discovery, no division. No vision, you are just like a sheep that can, like a camel that can be toasted. So self-discovery is key, is cogent, is fundamental. We cannot talk about issue of wealth creation when you have not yet discovered yourself, because wealth creation has a medium, has a platform, has a structure, has some patterns and principles, and it can only be done on somebody who have discovered himself and somebody who has a vision. Let me tell you, there's a problem when you don't have a vision. Your capacity doesn't have an account. I don't know whether you understand my point. If I build your capacity and you don't know where to go and debit the capacity, what will it mean? It's wasted. It's like somebody having a seed, but there's no farm to plant. That is somebody that has capacity, but doesn't have a what? Vision. You sow into your vision. You build capacity to realize your vision. You cannot become anybody when you don't have vision in you. No amount of prayer that can make any sense, because God don't know what to answer you. Because you have not discovered yourself. And you don't have a vision. So we are suffering men of God to pray. They are praying. Prayer will come down. There is no direction where the prayer will settle. There must be, when you want to collect offering, you must get a what? A container. Where when somebody bring out your money, that's why he can what? Drop. When God wants to bless you, there must be a place that he can place in the what? Blessing into. He placed it on your what? Vision. Because vision creates mission. Without a vision, you will not have any mission. And when you don't have any mission, there is no purpose in you. When there's no purpose in you, you are somebody alive, but you are dead. You are dead among the living. In terms of purpose, vision, and importance. When you gather such type of crowd that are alive, without self-discovery, without purpose, without vision, all of you cannot go anywhere. It's a problem. Let's go to step 2. Capacity building. Capacity building is only important for somebody who has what? Discovered himself. He has a vision. Now, when you have a vision now, you have to develop a milestone to actualize your what? Vision. That is what is called mission. I've gone out for a mission because I have understand what I want and who I am. Two things must happen. So now, if you want to build a capacity, you cannot go and build a capacity in everything in this world. The whole knowledge of this world does not belong to you, and it is not important to you. What is important to you is the knowledge and the capacity that can make you to realize your what? Vision. Simple. Don't suffer yourself. You cannot be a scientist and become this one. You become this. You could become that. No. You must have uniqueness in your life. And you must search. You must look. You must acquire capacity in line with your what? Vision and mission. It is not ability to trek that matters, but ability to trek to a destination that you know the address. I don't know whether I understand my point. I can spend the whole of my life, I'm moving here on this stage. I can trek because I don't know why I am going. I am always here. But there's somebody that knows that his house is in Nyanya. He knows the address of his house. Gradually, he's trekking even slower than me. That I'm moving faster in a vicious cycle. Before you know, he will reach to his what? Destination. So many of us have ability, hardworking, very committed, dedicated, doing all manner of effort, but there's no result. What happened to you? You are having the capacity that doesn't have a vision to download on it. If I go and buy a software, maybe CorelDRAW or Microsoft Office, and I don't have an operating system to download on it, to upload on it, will it work? So many of us have too much knowledge, big English, good calculation, scientific measurement, so many abilities, but completely it has not translated into naira and what? Kobo. Simply because ability without what? That's the problem we are having. So let us not think of becoming who we want to become when we don't even know who we are. Another one, again, value output. Let me tell you, value output, it is a complete baked food that is ready to be what? Served. Now, how will you generate a value on the baseless foundation? It's not possible. You generate value from something. You sow a seed in the land. You take care of it. It will germinate and grow. It will produce the seed, then you will harvest. That is what is called what? Value. Value is tangible. Although value also can be what? Abstract. But the point is that value output is very, very important. Now, the last one is time. I'm just defining the address, the formula, time. Time is very key. Time is very important. And let me tell you, the truth is that we only have 2 times. That is why we are celebrating sometime when we think very well, we will also think otherwise. You have 2 dates in this life, birthday and what? Death day. BD. Eh? And then turn them again. You carry that D. Front again. That's the final. So that is your what? Time. So now, let's go to the next page. Now, there's one thing in business consulting. If somebody comes before you, you want to consult him, the first question you will ask somebody is that, what is your actualization level? If you cannot answer that question, then go back to square one and start proper explanation. Actualization level is something that you have determined, is something that you know, is something that you believe, is something that you want, is something that you hoped for to become. I don't know whether I understand my point. So many of us, we don't have actualization level. Who do you want to finally become? If you register your company, what does that company want to become? You as a person, if you are 30 years, what do you want to become at the age of 50 years? Decision is called actualization level. It's a journey between today and what? Tomorrow. I don't know whether I'm clear. The question is that now, what is our actualization level? For this ministry to reach where it is today, the man of God has conceived in his mind and his spirit where the ministry, why he wants the ministry to be what? To attend to. That is the actualization level that we are following him. And it's gradually going there. Are we there now? So do not expect anything from God beyond your expected actualization level. That's why the Bible says, commit to me whatever you do and your plan will be what? Established. When you don't know who you want to become, it means you doesn't have a what? Plan. And there's nothing for God to what? Establish. So many of us are praying day in, day out. God is still waiting for him to hear what we want to become. For past 10 years, 15 years, we are praying for a miracle. God is asking, which miracle do you want? You have not yet answered it all. Let me tell you what I discovered recently. There is no prayer you will pray to God that it will take you more than 1 year to answer. I want to give you a correct answer to it all. When you pray spiritually and you act spiritually, you will get your answer spiritually. I don't know whether you understand my point. Oh. When you pray spiritually, you act spiritually, God will answer you spiritually. Acting spiritually means doing nothing physically on your prayer. You pray, you stand still. You open your eye, you are looking at it. God will also answer you spiritually. If you want to buy an aircraft spiritually, you ask for God to give you a private jet. Let me tell you, the next thing you see yourself is dreaming in the night that you are flying a private jet in the night. God has proved to you that he has answered you spiritually. So many of us are driving good cars. We are in a very good mansion in a dream. But physically we are managing, we are paying rent. Of course now. Because God cannot come and translate to you your own responsibility. When he created Adam, first thing he told him that, do not eat. He said, take care of the garden and eat from it thereof. I don't know whether we're looking at that verse properly. When God finished setting up the garden properly, put mango, put everything. In fact, he left it like that without tending to it. He brought Adam, he said, Adam, you see, I'm putting you inside this garden with one condition. After you take care of this garden, it will bear fruit. When it bears fruit, you eat from the fruit. So many of us want to eat without taking care of the garden. You will die. Koshako will catch you. Hungry will catch you. Nothing will happen to you. Man of God will anoint you. You remain there. Because he will only give you spiritual food. You only see yourself in a dream eating food. Will it stop you from getting ulcer? Yeah? When you dream in the night, you are taking mineral, drinking wine, getting big meat, drinking, wake up in the morning. Do you think that hunger will not catch you? God has answered you spiritually. He has justified himself properly. But when you pray spiritually and wake up in the morning, I checked through the Bible from Genesis to Revelation more than several times. I have not seen where the blessings of God descend on the person spiritually. The Bible is saying, I will bless the work of your hand. What does your hand do? Worked. If you are waiting for blessing to come, your hand is folded, you will get spiritual blessing. You will be suffering every day. And God has justified himself through your dream. Are we there now? So you must have your heart, you must know where you are, and you must determine your actualization level. So whatever you want in this conference, determine what you want, take position on what you want, you know where you are, and you know where you want to go. The question is now, the knowledge on how you can move from where you are to where you want to go is called capacity building. Have we understand capacity building now? It's only important for somebody to know where he is and where he wants to go. That is the only person that the capacity building is very important for him. All right. If my time is going to go stand from you. Now, the next point is star. I think I have done this demonstration in Yola. But I want a few people to come front, I beg. I want 7 people emergency. I want to do justice for this one in a few minutes. Just 7 people that are free, come front here. Let's do small mathematics. I did mean I say 7 people that need 50,000 now who would have arrived since. But because there's no value attached to it, these are 7 people, Abi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me tell you, these 7 people that you see there are you. Everybody is exactly like these 7 people, spiritually and scientifically. Now, I'll give my reasons and I will give my backup to it. One day, I raised my hand, I put in my chest like this, and I had my heart is beating, pim, 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 pim. In the matrix of what? Our heartbeat is in the matrix of what? Seconds. True or false? Good. There's a problem we've been having in the church. And it is not the problem of the men of God. It is the problem of we that are coming to ask the men of God to help us. Now, I have asked this question, who has a star here, please? Who have a star? Star. You know that naturally you have a star. A star. S-T-A-R. You have star, B? A star. Who doesn't have a star? I have been asking this question. If we say we have a star, and we are saying our star is bright, and we have been saying our star is stolen, where is the portion of star in us? Is it in the heart? Is it in the head? Is it where at the part of our body? Who can help us? Anybody would answer? Let me simplify because of time. Now, in my 5 years research in wealth creation and sustainability, God has revealed to me that simply that I look from the Bible. All my case studies from the Bible. I understand the appearance of a star. It was exactly the time they gave birth to Jesus Christ. Are we there? At the time they gave birth to him, a star appeared in the where? In the east. Now, let's reduce it backward scientifically now. When they gave birth to him, star appeared. So can I use this language now? At the time that they gave birth to him, star appeared. Is it true? At the time they gave birth to him, star appeared. I got an internal revelation. That star is your time. At the second that they gave birth to Jesus Christ, star appeared. So your star is your time. Whoever that can kill your time has killed your what? Star. I don't know whether we are there. Now, I came back to do a whole research. I brought out people in the Guinness Book of Records, the most wealthy people in the world. I put them on a spreadsheet. I was amazed what I saw. Madam, you are star 1. You accept it here? You are star 1. Okay? Star 2. Star 3. Madam, star 4. Star 5. Star 6. Star 7. Correct. Now, this is what happened to you. When Madam here, where is star 1? Yeah, we. When this madam can only produce value once a year, within 34, within 12 months calendar, within 365 days, she can only produce value once a year. Who is she? She is 1 star. Are we there? Let's go front. Madam, you be 1 star. It's not your portion in Jesus' name. My Oga. If this man is producing value monthly, he is star what? He is star. No. He is only producing star twice a year. That is twice a year. Only monthly he produces result. So within the whole year he produces how many times? So he is star what? Star 2. That is the second level of the star. Is one's value a year. The second level is somebody that produces value monthly. He is star 2. Star 2, is he better than star 1? Are we there? This man has tendency of becoming wealthier than this madam. Are we there? Let's make progress. This man is star what? He is producing value weekly. Somebody that is producing value weekly has tendency of becoming more wealthier than the person is producing value monthly, and the person that is producing value once a year. So this man is star 3. Now, when I see you with that one. This is madam here. She is producing value daily. Star what now? Maybe madam is doing akara. Maybe she's doing one business every day. She's getting money. Is she the same thing with this man? August, you're seeing here. Because she produces value every day. Is there any miracle there? Is there any magic? It is a business what? Strategy. How you plan during your time ratio. So this woman is producing value every day. She is more wealthier than these people. She's maximizing her what? Time. And her star is becoming what? Brighter. 1 star. The star, they dim. 2 star, they shine small. 3 star, the volume of the star, brightness increased. 4 star, I'm sure it's shining better than what? It's like you are driving Honda Accord 1996. Then somebody with this current 2024 Lexus, you people, they cross road together. You go see road. When you do full light, you go into, you have to park immediately. I don't know whether I understand that problem. You cannot know that your star is not shining until you get somebody who is wealthier than you. They cross road with you for road. Now there you go know your mistake. Are we understanding this thing clearly? Most especially if you vex yourself, now you are wasting time. You do pop with light like this. You go just pray for God to, you will park it one corner. You don't know whether you are on the road or you are parked aside because you are no longer seeing what? Hey. See this man here? He is making value in every 1 hour. He is star what? He is star 5. Hey. You know, people that have supermarket, they will tell you that they don't have problem with their family issue of food school fee. At this level, your problem is not your own problem, it's people's problem that is your problem. Because in every 1 hour, money they drop is the value is dropping inside your pocket. Meaning before you attract value, you must give out what? Value. Are we there? My Oga, don't smile, there are people in front of you. Madam here is producing value per what? Per minute. All of you have become global well science professionals. This madam is producing value per minute. Let me tell you the truth. Immediately you reach this level, the whole of you, they will know you. In your state, they will hear about you. Because at this level, you are almost reaching the maximum capacity of human utilization. I will explain. Madam is making value per minute. There are people that can give you a story how they're making money per minute. This is the final bus stop. Madam is producing value per what? Per second. That is the maximum capacity of human utilization to the matrix of God investment in you. Now, in every 1 minute, scientifically, if there are medical doctors here, in every 1 second, you hear your heart pump. When your heart pump, there's an exchange between oxygen and carbon dioxide. There's a replacement from who? From God, and remove what not good for you. And when it happens, there are many combined activities that happen. That is why when you cannot breathe well, they take you to hospital, they will put oxygen in you, they will be charging you per second. I don't know whether we're understanding this concept. Yes, madam, now, I can give you example of two people at this level. Immediately, Mark Zuckerberg understand the concept of data. People are consuming data per second. Mark Zuckerberg become one of the non-popular person in the world. True or false? He is making value per what? When Dangote launches refinery, people are burning his fuel per what? He has become a famous person globally. Nobody that attend to this level that cannot be heard worldwide. Because we have reached maximum level of human utilization. So you should not be thinking on what you do. Think how you can migrate from star one. You organize yourself. That the power and prosperity that are very poor. Don't waste your time concerning them. I don't know whether you understand my point. Look at value output. Besides, the Bible says, he who that is Christ is a what, sir? Is a new creature. So who tell you that it's demons, prosperity that are stopping your blessing? It is you. How can you be in star one? You are expecting to get that what star 7 is getting. Is God just? You get according to what you had. There was a case study of talented people. I know it's time. They say, I have 3 more minutes. Well, I'm not even going anywhere, but no problem. So the idea is simple. In your business model, don't develop a business plan that doesn't have put the ratio of time. And the essence of humanity on earth is production of value against time. When you lose 1 second, you did not produce value. In that 1 second, you have become what? I want to use more practical word. That's the end of this session. If you have 1 second and you did not utilize it well, what have you done with that 1 second? No, I want to say you have become useless for 1 second. Let us not do politics with that word now. 1 second, don't do pim it off. You didn't do anything. It has 2 accounts, poverty account and wealth account. So in 1 second, pim, it came back pim without anything. Where are we going to credit it? To wealth or poverty? Poverty has increased. When you do 1 minute, there is no value you produce, no value you generate. 1 minute will come back empty. It will credit which one? Which account? Poverty account, poverty number 2. When it reaches 1 hour, you just useless 1 hour for nothing. No value output, no value generation, no impact, nothing. 1 hour came back what? Empty. You have credited additional what? Poverty. You have 3-star poverty. When you come back here, it's producing value. Spend a complete 1 day. You are just meandering. sleeping, complaining, regretting, talking, doing many, many things. Wait for the evening time. When they finished complete, it came back empty-handed. What happened? You credit your account into poverty account, star for poor man. Now you come here again. This is weekly. Some people are spending 1 week. No productivity, no value output, no impact, nothing. They have become how many stars? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 star poor man. When it comes monthly, that within completely 30 days, you are only eating people food. You are only dependent. You become a parasite. You are the type of people that said in the Bible, thou are cankerworms and caterpillars and what have you all, because you are sustaining within 1 month. You have not produced. You see, you have become a caterpillar and cankerworm now. That you are praying against them. You are thinking that the caterpillars and cankerworm are in the bush. They are inside our houses now. Some of us have friends that are caterpillars and cankerworm and palmer worms. When they, every day, the time you are eating food, they will come and greet you. They are not friends, so they are palmer worms. They are caterpillars. They are cankerworm in the form of human image. 5-star poverty. 6-star poverty. Now, tell me, how will man of God pray for this man to recover from his poverty? When he is already a plague. When his problem completely. Madam, it's terrible here. I don't want to talk here, I beg, because there will be a problem here. So any day you are walking around, 1 minute you didn't get anything, 2 minutes you didn't, 1 hour, tell yourself that what you are becoming, useless plus useless plus useless plus useless. And that is why your condition is exactly the way it is. No miracle that can happen to change your situation. Because God's word is yea and amen. When Jesus Christ was hungry, it's a parable. Fig tree, he went there. See victory, see leaf, see water that have passed through, see everything, but there's no what? Value. They said when he caused that tree, in the next day there's no even leaf. It don't dry. Nobody can revive that tree again. Some of us have already accumulated cost on ourselves, such that now it is we that devil will use to retaliate problems somewhere, because we are already agent of poverty. Maybe we are looking at this as Joko. So many of us are preserving our children in the might of poverty. We are thinking that we care for them. When you try to train them to become things, they will say you are doing child abuse. That's a problem. Well, let me obey time. I think we still have another time. So we have not gone into practical session. This is only introductory. The Lord bless us in Jesus' name.
Come on, I think it deserves a resounding round of applause. Wow. When it started, I said, this is some scientific stuff. I'm not sure I'm understanding, but it was very clear. Very, very clear. Very clear. May the Lord help us. May the Lord help us not to be useless, not to waste time. But this is just the first session. Hey, the practical things are coming tomorrow. So make sure you do not miss out. Make sure you do not miss out. Come on, another round of applause for him, for the grace, for the unction that the Lord has put on him and that he has come to deliver to us. Very quickly, we are going to the next speaker, and he's going to speak to us on Business Unplugged, myth versus reality. He's been here since 3:50, which is the time the program was supposed to start. He's a stickler to time, a journalist par excellence, and very well known in this country. As he comes up, his abridged version of his citation will be flashed as he comes up to speak. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Azubike Isekeme. I hope I got it right.
Not about that. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. very senior bishops and ministers of God, the chairman of this committee, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's really an honor for me to be a part of this program. I was going to ask the chairman of leadership who invited me, that, look, why are you choosing to invite me? And I should have been a part. If I had been a part of this program early on, I'm sure I would have been wealthier than I am now. But they say when you wake up is your morning. So thank you very much for having me come here and learn from you far more than I can pretend to share with you. I think it's about 45 minutes or less. I have slides. I don't know whether the slides will roll, but it's about 16 slides, and if I spend a minute on a slide, that would be 16 minutes per slide. If I spend 2 minutes on a slide, that would be times 2 of that. So I'll try and speak to time as quickly as possible because I know that our day is already fast spent, although we still have a lot more to do. It's really a pleasure to be speaking about wealth, about creating wealth. What we are more familiar in this country is allocating wealth. And every month there is a meeting in Abuja where wealth is, where the states state governors come for what is called wealth, revenue allocation or sharing. That's what we do. We talk more about sharing and allocating than creating. So we need to understand the principles a whole lot more so that we can create wealth, because you can only share what you have created. And the reason why we are poor and struggling with poverty is that we haven't created enough for us to share. So this evening, I'll be talking, I modified the title slightly, and I call this Mythbusters, Common Hindrances to Business Success. And I put amongst Christians in parentheses because, you see, the fundamental thing about principles is that if you apply principles, they will work for you. All right? Whether you are a Christian, whether you are a Muslim, whether you are a Buddhist, whether you don't even believe. Once you apply principles, principles work. But happily, we are more Christians here than we are not Christians, so we have even a greater advantage. And so let's go straight to the first slide and deal with the first question. What is a myth? If you do not understand what a myth is or what myths are, it will be difficult for you to talk about busting them. So I thought that perhaps a great place for us to start is to try to understand very quickly, building on the foundation that Professor Parker is more than a doctor. What I heard is professorial stuff. So and he started fundamentally with principles, with theory upon which practice is built. What is a myth? A myth is a widely held but false belief or idea that is often sustained in generations by cultural or symbolic elements. So it's widely held, but it is false. But it's widely believed. And I'll share one example with you. I'll be telling you a number of stories. And some of you may be wondering, why is a journalist talking about business? I grew up at a time when most people thought that journalists are poor people. How can a journalist teach you business principles? But by the grace of God, this is I'm going to about 40 years after I left school. And I have been the chairman of CleanServe, a company which at its peak in 2018-2019 was turning over about 26 billion in a year. CleanServe was into marketing, oil and gas and aviation fuel. So I've seen a bit of it. I was also, by the grace of God, a member of a team that turned Punch around. Now, I joined Punch in 1986-87 as a graduate, when Punch could not pay salaries. But by the grace of God, I was finally among the management team that turned Punch around. So even if I don't have much, I've seen a bit to be able to share. And I'm more than happy to share some of that. So now let's come back to the question about myth. And so we have said that myths are false beliefs that people often plug into, but they are sustained by cultural, symbolic, or supernatural elements. And I share one with you, which my mother used to tell me. My mother used to say that we forbid bananas. she couldn't find a way of stopping me from eating them. And I was doing so much harm to myself that she told me that, in fact, where I come from, if you eat more than one banana, you might die. Now, it may sound funny, but I held onto that belief for a long time. So I will be in a place where people are eating bananas, and they ask me, and I cannot tell them what my mother had told me. I just would abstain from eating it. Until a day when I ate more than one and I didn't die, that was the end of that particular meat. So it was a meat that had plagued me for many years, but it just didn't take. And it was until I got to secondary school that I would not tell anybody the reason why. But my mother, in order to save me from myself, had to invent that myth. But it was not scientific. It was not true. And there was another myth she also used to share with me. And this was her way of trying to tell me that you try to eat early so that you can sleep well. But what she used to say was that too much food at night will make cows chase you in your dream. But there is sense in that myth, because actually if you eat too much before you go to bed, you find that you're unable to sleep well. But it would have been okay scientifically for her to explain to me not to eat too much. But the only way she could transmit that knowledge was to say, look, the only way if you want to have safe, sound sleep, and you don't want cows to chase you in your dream, then you must not eat too late at night. That was another myth. Now, but how do myths work? We are talking about myth busting, so it's good for us to understand the principles of myth and also to understand how myths work. I've just given you examples that myths actually work through cultural tales, through stories that we tell ourselves. But the problem with myths is that they only last as long as you do not have superior information to displace them. As long as you have superior scientific proven information to deal with myths, those myths disappear. So the moment I found that I could eat 2 bananas and not die, that was the end of my mother's myth about bananas and death. So that is how myths work. They work through the things that we subscribe to, but when they contend with science and with light, they disappear. But I want us to keep in mind the contrast between intention and outcome. Those who spin myths that lead to poverty, which we are here to deal with, they mean well, some of them. They tell you myths, and we will deal with some of those myths. But the problem is that when those myths come face to face with facts and reality, they dissolve. Okay? So very quickly to the 5th slide. Let us deal with some of the myths. And this is where we come to something close to the heart of the matter. Amongst many Christians, it is often said that there is nothing new. That connection is everything. That is the first myth. But we have been told by Professor Parker that money flows in the direction of value. All right? I'm sure that you have heard that before. Some people, myth number 1 that I want us to deal with as Christians. There are people who believe that connection is everything. If only I have connection, I am where that I am because I am not connected. If only I am well connected, my situation will not be the same. I will change. But your connection is only as useful as the value you are able to create with it. At the time, I had over 3,500 contacts in my phone. But I did not begin to realize the value of those contacts until a story that I'll tell you later. Some of you carry phones, you carry digital devices with lots of information. But what value are you able to make out of the information between just teasing your phone? It's one thing to be introduced to the president of Nigeria. It's one thing to be introduced to a big man. It's another thing what happens after that introduction. I've been to many places. I've traveled, gone to conferences all around the world. But I found later in life that not until I cultivate those contacts I'm sorry, some of you are probably seeing some people here for the first time. and you may not see them again for a long, long time. Now, what you do with the contacts, the people you are connected with today, will affect what happens to you in the future. Because between you and the man that is seated, to get to the president, it just takes one person. Just one call. So it is not connection, but the value that you make out of connection that matters. So I'm busting your first myth. Those of you who believe that connection is your problem. Connection is not your problem. It is the value that you create from connection. Myth number 2. People say there is nothing new under the sun. Yes, maybe they are right. But do you know that every day there are at least 50 million new startups created? And there are over 150 million startups in the world. Now, out of that number, Nigeria is the biggest startup hub in Africa. Nigeria has 5 unicorns. A unicorn is a company that is valued at more than 1 billion. So, you cannot just sit down and say, oh, what am I going to do? Everybody is already making water. Everybody is making kunu. Everybody is already making fat. No. There is something unique. There is a reason why 50 million new businesses are created. Not all of them will survive. But the Bible encourages us not to cast our seed in the morning, and then also not to spare casting it later in the day, because you never know which one will survive. So do not delude yourself by saying, oh, I am here where I am because there is nothing else to be done. You never know whether that idea that is birthing in you might be the one that makes the difference. There is another very famous myth among Christians. But yeah, great talk. But I need money. I don't have money. I cannot do anything without money. False. Because remember that we have been told, and we repeated it early on, that money flows in the direction of value. Money flows in the direction of value. It is not money first. I'm not saying money is not important, but it is not money first. But it is having a clear vision, as we have been told, and an idea of how to apply yourself. Now, that is what attracts money. That is what attracts value. So, as you leave this place, I want you to get rid of that idea that it is because you do not have money that you are not where you ought to be. Because money value flows in the direction of money. There's something else I'd like us to share. Another myth. People say, I didn't go to school. I am not educated. How can I compete when you have people who are educated? No, you can see all those people that's all the people that you see there were school dropouts at one stage or the other. Fact. In fact, there's Cosmos Maduka, who as of 2015 was valued at over $500 million US, didn't even go to any school at all. None. So, the fact that you are not educated in Western education cannot be. And today, you see, if you are in the media space, for example, where I have been for the last 40 years, BBC is making a lot more money from its Hausa and language services than it's making in its English language services. It's a far more profitable. Now, BBC not only does Hausa, they do Igbo, they do Pidgin, they do Yoruba. Do you understand? These are services which do not require your going to university to create. You can create value around the culture and language that you understand and optimize it. So going to school, to formal education, should not be an impediment. Because there are examples, and we have seen them, of people who are even school dropouts, and a lot of people are chasing, trying to be like them. Another myth is that, you know what? Diligence is a spiritual gift. It is not. I have checked out. It's not among the It's not among the spiritual gift listed. Diligence is something you need to cultivate. You need to learn. You need to apply yourself. So do not delude yourself by thinking that diligence, that as a Christian, diligence is one of the things that will come by laying on of hands. No. And that is what Doctor has told us. Diligence, which is hard work and an application of knowledge, does not come by the laying on of hands. It comes by applying yourself. By just refusing to sleep and slump. And then we are told to learn from the ant. He said, you sluggard, go and learn from the ant. How does it know the season to go out, to gather, to secure itself? So, diligence, some Christians like to think that, well, we have been told that if you're among those, then you get your gift spiritually. That you get the result or answer to your prayer spiritually. If you think that diligence is the fruit of hard work, relentlessness, never giving up. And it is not a gift. It is something you apply yourself to do. Some people say, I am too old to start. You know, I am too old to start. Now, let me tell you. I wrote my second book when I was 59. But there's a woman called Virginia Miller Reeves. She wrote her first book when she was 80. Her first book, Once in a Blue Moon, she wrote it when she was 80. You have no excuse. I don't think there are too many 80-year-olds in our midst. Please, if you're an 80-year-old, let's see. Virginia Reeves wrote her first book, Once in a Blue Moon, when she was 80. What excuse do you have? We know of Kentucky Fried Chicken. Actually discovered that in his late 60s. Do you understand? With Alakija, made her, so you have no, age is not a barrier. And let me tell you a bit about the story about myself. I told you about my second book that I wrote at 59. Between last year and this year, I've written at least 4 additional books. At 60, I've written 4 additional books between last year and this year. And the result of those books is that those books, I'm now also writing a story on how I wrote and marketed those books. In spite of my 9-to-5 job, which I take very seriously. So age cannot be a barrier. Age is a thing of the mind and should never be a barrier. You are never too old to start. Well, some people think that they are too secure to fail, that faith secures them so much that they cannot fail. No. Too secure in faith to fail is not true. You are a person of faith does not mean that you start a business and there is foolproof guarantee that the business will fail. Or that if your business fails, your faith has failed. No. It could just be that you have just learned some lessons that will help you do the thing differently. Are we together? So don't say, oh, because I'm a person of faith, how could my business have failed? Knowing that I have faith that is stronger than the faith of Abraham. No. You may just have learned some lessons that will prevent future failure. Now, I want to share a video of my friend. The next video will play for just 2 minutes. And I'd like us to follow very closely because I like to know what you learned from. It's just about 2 minutes. It's the story of a man called Dr. Gabriel Obiche, who's a personal friend of mine. We used to live in the same estate. Let him tell you the story of how he became a billionaire. Just play that video. Can you just click on that to play? It's just a 2-minute video. Just click on it, it will play. Multimedia, can you help us?
I had a hypothesis that if I...
Okay, please, let it roll. Just 2 minutes. Okay.
I had a hypothesis that...
Okay, it's.
I had a hypothesis that if I sell a truck of diesel in a month, I will make. I had a hypothesis that if I sell a truck of diesel. I had a hypothesis that if I sell a truck of diesel in a month, I will make how much? 30,000 naira. So I now needed to go into the marketplace. I'm a salesman. I was the salesman.
Is there a problem?
I'm still a salesman. I had no challenges identifying a company in Ikeja called First Aluminium Nigeria PLC. A classmate of mine in university was working there as an engineer, Mike Okolo, so he introduced me to the purchasing manager, a gentleman called Mr. Ojo. So I had no challenges convincing him to give me an LPO to supply them 30,000 liters of diesel at 10 naira per liter, 300,000 naira. So he told me to come on this fateful Tuesday to come and pick my LPO. So this day, I went there very excited. How far, Mr. Ojo? What of the LPO? Gabriel, sorry, the LPO is not ready. I said, why? He said the GM refused to sign. I said, which GM? I got up. He thought I was leaving. There was a GM, a gentleman called Aija Haneku. His office was down the corridor to the left. He had a secretary to the right of his door. So I just approached the GM's office. I knew that if I made the mistake of telling the secretary I wanted to see the GM, that would have been the end of it. So I just approached the door. Good afternoon, ma'am. As she raised her eyes to look at me, I had opened the GM's door, and I was in the GM's office. Yes, young man, what can I do for you? My LPO is on your table. Please, can you help me sign it? He said, which company? I said, Rain Oil. He said, which one is Rain Oil? We only buy from Unipetrol or Mobil or Total. Aija Haneku was seated. I was standing. I did all the marketing I could do that day. Aija Haneku was ready to sign this LPO. Gabriel Ubeche wasn't ready to go anywhere. At some point,